All right, so in this video, we're going to go over how to create a fitness profile for your client. Now, you can create a new fitness profile using a number of different links. You can either click on the link right here that says Client Profiles, or you can allow the drop, which will allow you to create a new adult profile, a new child profile, or you can go to View All Profiles and click on the button, either Add a New Adult or Add a New Child. So, we're going to add a new adult profile. We're going to give the client a name. We're going to enter in their email. We're going to enter in their age. We're going to leave goal weight and goal body fat unpopulated for now. Their height will be 5'5". Now, since I'm doing it in inches, I can do it the conventional American way with 5-5, or I can enter in 5 foot, 5 foot, 5 inches. Or if I'm measuring in centimeters, you can put 67 centimeters. Just make sure to put your girth measurement length at centimeters because you'll be using centimeters for the girth measurements below. Now, let's assume that we're going to be using inches and we're also going to be using pounds. You can also measure your clients in kilograms or stones. And you want to make sure to have the right designation for your client, otherwise it will mess up their caloric calculation. So we're going to go with pounds, inches, and this client will be female. We're going to enter in the date, 11/11/14. We're going to enter in the weight is going to be 150. The starting body fat is going to be 35%. And as you can see, that a couple of things change once you enter in the body fat. The main thing that you want to communicate to your client is the closer to green you are, the healthier you are. The closer to red you are, the more work you need to do in your health and fitness. You can use the charts below as a guide. So for your body fat ranges, you're going to let your client know that for your age of 30 years old, you want to be somewhere between ideally 21 and 33% body fat. Since this client is at 35, they fall into the unhealthy range. So your goal will be to get your client to the healthy range. Now we're going to set a goal, and you can watch the goal setting video to understand exactly how I got to my goal numbers. But we're going to set a goal of 135 pounds and 31% body fat. Below the body fat, you'll see that out of this 150 pounds, the client is carrying 52 pounds of fat weight and 97 pounds of non-fat weight. This can also be seen in the starting status. This gives you your original numbers. So your fat weight is 52.5 pounds. Your non-fat weight is 97.5 pounds. In order for your client to get to 135 pounds at 31% body fat, the client needs to lose 10 pounds of fat, 4 pounds of non-fat weight, and then they will end up carrying 41 pounds of fat weight, 93 pounds of non-fat weight, for a total of 135 pounds. Now, as your client progresses, you will be entering their subsequent measurements on the adjacent fields. So 2 months from now, your client weighs 135 pounds, and let's say they are at 32.5% body fat. Now you can see that since they fall in the green category of your recommended body fat ranges, the cell is now green, letting them know that they're in the healthier range. Their fat weight went from 52 to 43, and if you'll notice here, their fat loss percentage to goal is at 81%. So they've lost 81% of the fat pounds that they intended to lose when they started. Your goal is to get this number to 100 or above. The non-fat weight, this can be undigested waste, has gone from 97.5 pounds to 91 pounds. And if you ever decided to run a fat loss contest, you can use these stats below. Feel free to go to the How to Run a Fat Loss Contest video to understand what these numbers mean. Now, the next section that you'll go to is the girth measurement section. Again, depending on whether you're using inches or centimeters, you will take the measurement at the arm, at the bust, at the waist, and the waist is another cell that will determine health. So if the waist is at 33, it will be yellow. Hips will be 40, and the thigh will be 19. 2 months later, the client has a waist measurement of 29 and hip measurement of 39. And as you can see now, their waist to hip ratio falls in the healthy range. Their waist circumference falls in the healthy range. So essentially, the cell color will guide how well your client is doing. if you ever get flustered. So the first and most important category that's shaded will be the body fat. If the body fat is in a healthy range, then you want to focus on the waist. If the waist is in a healthy range and the body fat, then you worry about the waist to hip ratio. But essentially, when the body fat is in the green, the waist and the waist to hip ratio tend to follow suit. Now, the FitPro calculator will also calculate your calories for you automatically. Your activity level is going to be the number of hours on average that you spend working out, and the aggression level is the degree to which you're creating a caloric deficit. Most clients will be a 1. Most clients don't work out more than an hour a day. And in terms of the aggression, it should really stay at 1 unless your client is in the red category for their body fat percentage. But you can let your clients know that your calories to maintain their weight, provided that they're working out 1 hour a day, is going to be 1,606 calories. The ideal calories for fat loss is going to be 1,320 calories. But the truth is, anything in between 1,320 and 1,606 will yield fat loss. However, the closer you are to 1,320, the faster the fat comes off because you're creating a larger caloric deficit. Obviously, once your client gets to their goal weight, they can focus on the number up top and they don't have to worry about creating a caloric deficit. Now, when it comes to the resting heart rate, this is a great way for your client to see how their heart is improving. So essentially, your client will be rested. You'll take their pulse rate for 60 seconds, and then you will enter it in. If your client starts off at 82, it will go red, letting your client know that their conditioning is very poor. However, if in 2 months they go from 82 to 70, you can see that your client is now in the green. So you want your client to stay in the green, either average, above average, or excellent as it relates to your resting heart rate. Finally is the performance progression, an area where you can run physical tests so your clients see how they perform and improve over time. So, for instance, you can run 60-second strength tests for push-ups, and let's say squats. So if on the first day your client got 5 push-ups in 60 seconds and 20 squats, you can then test this again to see how your clients improve. Now, we have a unique feature where you can click on the drop down, and if your goal is to increase value, so for instance, your goal is to get better, you're going to have it at increasing value. And then if your client improves upon their number, they'll be shaded green. If their client does worse, it'll go red. Or you can keep this as no shading, and that will never give a green or red. But that's a great way to show your client that they've improved over time at specific skills. You can also use decreasing value if you were doing something like time. So a 1 mile run, if the first time your client takes 12 minutes, even, they can do it in 11:55 and let's say 0.30 seconds. And it will turn green. If they do it in 5 minutes, 0.05 seconds, as you go down, so decreasing value tends to work best with time, increasing value tends to work best with reps. If you don't want to confuse yourself or the client, you can keep it at no shading, and then it will neither turn green nor red whether you improve or not. And finally, you'll have a notes section below. So every time you do measurements, you can have a little update of what your client needs to go over. You can congratulate your client, or you can give notations on what your client needs to improve upon in order to do better for their next weigh-in. For instance, that is a message that you would send to your client on the first day. When you do your second round of measurements, you can update your client on their performance and give them further encouragement. This will all be sent to your client. So you'd hit the submit button. The FitPro calculator will make sure that you want to send to your client, hit OK, and your client will get a fitness report with your logo on the upper left. So I sent this to myself so you can see an example of what the email will look like. There's the first name, your first name. There's the email subject that you entered into the email subject template. the client's name is automatically populated. There goes your information. And if your client clicks on download now, they will then be able to view their fitness profile along with the notes that you put in for them. If they wanted to download, they can save to their computer and save on their desktop. So that's how you create a fitness profile. If you need help on setting goals for your clients, watch the Setting Goals for Your Clients video.